The quarterfinals of the Copa Libertadores are underway. In the first leg, we saw very few goals. Every tie is still open and there's still a lot to play for. Everything will be decided this week. Which is why here in Rank Talks Ball, we're gonna predict the second leg of all quarterfinal ties of the Copa Libertadores 2024. The Maracaná witnessed a very uninspiring game from both Fluminense and Atlético Mineiro. The teams traded chances from long-distance shots and set pieces, but no real danger was created. There was a small lapse around the 32nd minute where Thiago Silva had a header which exited just wide of the post. Only a minute later, Barbosa escaped down the left and slid in a pass for Serna, who completely missed the ball, wasting a huge opportunity for Fluminense. And in the very next play, Huki made a great solo run, which he ended with a shot that was saved by Fabio. This short spell made us believe that we were in for an intense game, but no, as nothing else happened in the first half. Early into the second half, Fabio denied Huki once again, but still both teams were struggling with creativity in the midfield. This, on top of the nerves and it being the first leg and teams not really wanting to go all out, made us believe that we were in for a 0-0 draw. In the 81st minute, Huki chipped the ball inside the box and Paulinho was all alone in front of Fabio, but his header was nowhere near the goal. And then in the 87th minute, a great pass from Marcelo found Keno with space on the left, who put in a great cross for Vinicius Lima, whose header broke through Everson's attempted block to win it near the end for Fluminense. And now they have to travel to Belo Horizonte with a single goal lead, which, look, it's better than nothing. And neither of these teams looked very convincing. I am going to predict Atlético Mineiro to win the second leg. Whether it will be enough for them to advance or the reigning champions will live to see another day, we'll have to see. Colo and River Plate faced off in Santiago in a very back and forth game. Early into the game, River had the better opportunities with their striker Miguel Borja missing a few chances. However, in the 14th minute, once Colo was able to advance through River's press, Leonardo Gil struck with a volley which smashed against the crossbar. The teams continued to trade blows, and in the 41st minute, after a great pass from Arturo Vidal, Correa connected with a header which was saved by Armani to deny Colo the opener. And only a minute later, it would be River the ones to open the score instead, when Marcos Acuña put in a cross inside the box for the other World Cup champion, Germán Petzela, to score with an unorthodox volley. In the second half, Colo went on the offense knowing that they needed to get something as the home team. And very early they had a chance from a corner, but this time Correa's header went just over the crossbar. But in the 60th minute, another amazing pass from Vidal would find Carlos Palacios through on goal, who would beat Armani to score the equalizer for Colo. There wouldn't be many chances after this, but the referee still managed to give me something to talk about, as not only Borja was not shown any type of card for this challenge, and he did receive a yellow later down the line, so it would have mattered even if it wasn't a straight red, but also in the 90th minute he decided to send off both Paulo Diaz and Maxi Falcón, despite the center back for Colo doing basically nothing to deserve a second yellow. And so the game ended in a draw, and sadly we will go from the Monumental in Santiago to the Monumental in Buenos Aires, where River Plate play like a different team, and I believe that they will win and advance to the semifinals. Botafogo hosted Sao Paulo in Rio de Janeiro for a highly anticipated match. El Fogao had the better start to the game, creating some chances with Jefferson Savarino being the main creator, but the finishing was just a little bit off. Like in the 12th minute when Thiago Almada wasted a golden opportunity after a great pass from Vitinho. In the 34th minute, Botafogo spared Sao Paulo again when Jefferson Savarino drifted inside in a great individual play, but his shot hit the crossbar. And in the corner that followed, Luis Enrique will also hit the crossbar, although he was offside. Botafogo kept knocking on the door, with Igor Jesus and Thiago Almada having shots from outside the box just grazed against the post, and Luis Enrique missing another one-on-one, sending it over the crossbar. In the second half, Botafogo still dominated but struggled to create chances of the quality that they had in the first half. And in the 76th minute they almost get punished when a cross-in from Michel Araujo found Jonathan Caleri all alone in front of goal, but somehow Sao Paulo's striker blew it over the crossbar too. Not much happened afterwards, and so the game ended in a 0-0 draw where Botafogo somehow didn't score and now they have to travel away to the Morumbi. And this is a really tough game to call. Don't get me wrong, Sao Paulo looked awful in that game, and if they allow the same chances that they allowed in the first leg, Botafogo is eventually gonna score one of them. But when ties are this close, I tend to lean towards the team that has the most heritage, and in this case the home advantage as well. However, I'm gonna predict another draw, and even though it doesn't net me any additional points, I'm gonna lean towards Sao Paulo advancing on penalties if it comes to that. The Maracanã hosted yet another game this week, this time between Flamengo and Peñarol. El Mengao looked very uncomfortable going up against Peñarol's low block, and El Manja was doing a very good job at recovering the ball and hitting on the counter-attack. And that's exactly what they did in the 12th minute, when Mendes intercepted the ball, which landed at the feet of Leo Fernandez, passing it to Baez, who then put in a great ball for Silveira, who finished the counter-attack by assisting Cabrera, scoring with a volley to give the lead to Peñarol. Flamengo desperately pushed for an equalizer and they almost got it in the 70th minute when a header from Gonzalo Plata hit against the post. 5 minutes later, Eric Pulgar attempted with a missile from outside the box, but his shot was contained by goalkeeper Aguirre. In the 38th minute, the Arrascaeta put in a brilliant cross for Bruno Enrique, whose point-blank header was also stopped by Aguirre. And the goalkeeper from Peñarol knew he was gonna be a busy man on the night, as only a minute later he had to stop another shot, this time from the Arrascaeta himself. In the end of the first half, Peñarol almost doubled their lead with another counter-attack, but this time it was Rossi's turn to put in some work as he saved the attempt from Baez. In the second half, Peñarol continued to attack, and in one of those attacks, the ball hit the extended hand of Eric Pulgar inside the box, but somehow VAR didn't consider it to be a penalty for the Uruguayans. For the rest of the second half, Peñarol chose to defend and Flamengo grew more and more desperate, putting in more crosses inside the box as they ran out of ideas, but keeping Aguirre busy, especially in the 90th minute where he made a massive save on an attempt from Bruno Enrique and the rebound was then wasted by Carlinhos. And that was that. Peñarol, the 5-time Copa Libertadores champion who haven't won a trophy since 1987 and haven't been to a final since 2011, after 11 consecutive group stage eliminations have won the first leg in Brazil and now have to close out the tie at home. And I believe they'll do it. This game in Montevideo is gonna end in a draw, and Peñarol is gonna return to the biggest stage of the Copa Libertadores by eliminating one of the favorites. And this is how my predictions are going. Last week I had a rough spell, with only one correct guess and 3 misses, bringing the total score to 64 correct predictions and 50 incorrect. Not the best, but I think my lead is still very comfortable at the moment, so I hope I get back on track this week. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment your thoughts down below and subscribe to not miss out on any more Copa Libertadores content. I'll be seeing you all next time.